بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إنك لا تنادي فهبوا يا بني قومي أسودا أعيدوا للدنا أمجاد عصر وفلوا بالحديد لنا القيودا.
Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. I'm making this video because recently the topic of in the Quran, chapter 65 verse 4, which is called divorce, in English the name of the surah is called divorce. This topic has been brought up to me, and originally it was brought up by just one individual who made a video on it, and I'm not going to name any names. I mean, because there's so many people involved. I literally have a list of people who I've discussed this topic with. It started off with one person, then it spawned to about 10 other people, and so to name everyone is just, it's not necessary. But those of you listening to this know who you are, and if you want to make yourself known, I know some of you probably will, some of you can't help yourselves on the comments section, but that's fine. That's not a personal dig at you, that's just your personalities, and that's fine. But I brought this up because I was fascinated by the subject. The thing is that this is not a new argument. Okay, first off, this is not a new argument. I love it when haters think they found the gold mine. They found the thing that's going to bring down Islam, you know, and they think that their video or their article or whatever is going to do the job. And yet, what I find fascinating, and I've said this, and I said this to the people I was talking to, that what's fascinating is Muslim scholars have resources, and they've been talking about these subjects since the advent of Islam, and this is nothing new. But I'm going to read chapter 65, verse 4, so we all can be familiar with what this is talking about. It's referring to the waiting period. In Arabic, the waiting period is Iddah, and this is when you divorce a woman, the period in which she has to wait before she can get remarried again. The verse says, "And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the Iddah prescribed period, if you have doubt about their periods, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature, their Iddah prescribed period is 3 months, likewise, except in case of death." And then it talks about women who are pregnant as well, and etc. But the reason why I pause there is because the argument used is that this verse says, and for the women who do not have menses, or are not menstruating, do not menstruate. So the haters, they say, oh, well, this is obviously referring to women who don't menstruate. And which women, who are women that don't menstruate? Oh, they say, oh, it's prepubescent women, children, little girls. They say that this verse, because logically speaking, women who don't menstruate, the only women that don't menstruate are women who are children, who are prepubescent, have not started puberty yet, and that's their argument. They say that they basically equate menstruation with puberty, and therefore, if a girl hasn't started mensing, she has not gone through puberty yet. She has not hit puberty. She has not started puberty, and that's their argument. Seriously. So they say that this verse is referring to, this is basically advocating pedophilia, which of course is not a new argument that haters have made, but we'll come back to this in a moment. They cite the tafsir of, two tafsirs, the tafsir of Al-Jalalain and the tafsir Ibn Abbas, and I'll be posting links to both with regards to this verse. The reason for this is because that tafsir of Al-Jalalain says that, with regards, it says that, and also for those who have not yet menstruated because of their young age, shall be 3 months. Ibn Abbas also says that this verse was revealed because someone asked the Prophet, O Messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period for those who do not have menstruation because they are too young, along with those who have it not? In parentheses, because of young age, their waiting period is also 3 months. Okay, now first off, notice that Ibn Abbas does include a group of people in his tafsir. In parentheses, however, it says, along with those who have it not. So this is referring to not just because someone's young, but because of another group of people. In other words, women who do not menstruate hardly at all, or it's rare for them to menstruate. The tafsir of Ibn Kathir says, to clarify, that the same is for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. Their iddah is 3 months like those in menopause. And it says, and for those who have no courses, if you doubt, there are two opinions. First, in the saying of a group of the Salaf. And who are the Salaf? These are the righteous generations. This includes the companions of the Prophet. This includes the major classical scholars in Islam here, like Mujahid, Al-Zarari, and Ibn Zayd. That is, if they see blood and there is doubt if it was menstrual blood or not. The second is that you do not know the ruling in this case, then you should assume that it is 3 months, etc. So, in other words, what this is saying is that, yeah, if you marry a woman who does not menstruate, or you divorce her and then she's not menstruating, then wait 3 months. The waiting period is 3 months. Now, the thing is that the scholars are agreed that this is not referring to just younger women. This is also referring to women who just don't menstruate, period. And the way I know this, I'm going to post in the description section, is from Al-Mawdudi's Tafsir. He draws upon the classical scholars such as Al-Azab, who say that this is referring to they may not have menstruated yet because of young age, or delayed menstrual discharge that happens in the case of some women, or because of no discharge at all through life, which, though rare, may also be the case. And so that is the waiting period for them. The Tafsir of Muhammad Asad also says this. He says in his Tafsir that, listen, if they don't menstruate at all for whatever reason, this is the meaning of this. Well, okay, so now we've established that the scholars of Islam are not just referring to younger women. We're referring to women who do not really menstruate at all, or maybe they don't even menstruate during the time in which they get this divorce. Then you wait 3 months before they can get married again or not. And we know medically that some women menstruate way often. For example, you have women who will menstruate more than others. It's excessive menstruation. This is the opposite of women who don't menstruate at all. But let's ask the valid question though. First off, is the iddah waiting period just from sexual contact? Because that's the argument here, is that the Quran says that if you do not have sexual intercourse with your wife, you do not have to go through the waiting period. But scholars, and I'll post this in the description section, the scholars say that there are 4 reasons why the iddah period is observed. And I was trying to make this point to one person when I said that the iddah period is not just because of sexual intercourse. Because it says 4, to discern whether the woman is pregnant or not. 2, Sharia has ordained the period of iddah to avoid any confusion of lineage which may result for the woman's pressing need of marriage. 3, the period of women spends in iddah, whether short or otherwise, sheds light on the seriousness of marriage and how far it is a sacred bound. And 4, it allows the man and the woman to think twice before breaking up the family ties, especially in cases where divorce is revocable. This is the Kuwaiti Encyclopedia of Fiqh, or Sharia law. Now, another thing I want to point out, is that the argument that is made is that the people are equating menstruation with puberty. Now, I agree that menstruation is a sign of puberty. However, is this the only sign of puberty? In other words, are there other things that could occur in a woman physiologically that means they've entered puberty? And indeed there are. In fact, the thing I want to make perfectly clear here is that the Arabic word balugh, which is used in Sahih Bukhari, and those who have commentated on Sahih Bukhari make it very clear that balugh is synonymous with the term pre-menstruation. So in other words, when you read in the Tafsirs when it says they're immature, or because of they are young, that term is synonymous with the fact that this means pre-menstruation. They have not started menstruating yet. But according to Sharia law, what ordains puberty for both men and women is wet dreams, pubic hair. For the women, the forming of breasts, and then for many scholars, they say the cutoff date for a woman for women who can fully consummate a marriage are considered an adult, regardless if they have not shown any of these signs. Majority of scholars say 15 years of age. Abu Hurairah was of the opinion of 18 years of age. So even if the woman has not started menstruating, if she knows no clear sign of pubic hair or things like this, there's a certain age cutoff point, you're considered an adult. But according to the majority of scholars, you must reach puberty to consummate the marriage. Hence why, reading from Karen Armstrong's A Biography of the Prophet, quoting Tabari, says that she was so young, as referring to Aisha, that she stayed in her parents' home and the marriage was consummated later when she reached puberty. This is the understanding of the Muslim scholars. So menstruation does not equal puberty. There are other things that women physiologically can go through that means that they have become an adult, such as pubic hair, things like this. These are other signs of puberty. Not all women start menstruating before they start forming breasts, or their voice starts changing, or psychologically they're ready. And I'll be posting in the description section a Google link you can find. I'll describe it, where this article I was reading from that explains and refutes the haters who bring this up. So thank you everyone for watching. Peace be with you all.